Mr. Harrison adjusted his silk tie, his reflection staring back at him from the polished glass of the skyscraper. He was on top of the world, a self-made millionaire who had clawed his way up from nothing. The city spread out below him, a concrete jungle he had conquered. But today, an unusual emptiness echoed in his lavish office. He glanced at the framed photo on his desk, a smiling woman, his late wife Eleanor. It had been 5 years since she was gone, and the ache in his heart was a constant companion. Shaking off the melancholy, he grabbed his briefcase. He had a city to run, deals to close. As he stepped out of his building, the familiar hustle of the city enveloped him. A young boy, no older than 10, with bright, hopeful eyes and a worn-out backpack, approached him. "Candy, sir. It's just $1, the boy said, his voice small but clear. Mr. Harrison barely gave him a glance. "Not interested," he muttered, his mind already on his next meeting. He strode past the boy's hopeful expression falling in his peripheral vision. He'd seen kids like this 100 times. It was a tough world, and he had his own battles to fight. He didn't have time for every sob story on the street. The day was a whirlwind of meetings and negotiations. Harrison was ruthless, brilliant. He closed a multi-million-dollar deal, his team erupting in applause. But as he sat in his chauffeured car, heading home, the image of the boy flickered in his mind. The disappointment in those young eyes. He tried to brush it off. He couldn't save everyone. The next day it happened again. Leaving a high-end restaurant after a lunch meeting, he saw the same boy. This time the boy didn't approach him directly, but stood by the corner, his shoulders slumped. He hadn't sold a single bar. Something tugged at Mr. Harrison. He remembered his own childhood, the gnawing hunger, the worn-out shoes, the desperation to make just a few cents to help his mother. He remembered Eleanor, her boundless compassion. How she would always stop, always give, always see the person behind the poverty. He found himself walking towards the boy. "What's your name?" he asked, his voice softer than he intended. The boy looked up, surprised. "Leo," he answered. Mr. Harrison pulled out his wallet. "I'll take all of them," he said, gesturing to the box of candy. Leo's eyes widened in disbelief. "All of them?" "Sir, that's $50. Mr. Harrison simply handed him a crisp $100 bill. "Keep the change," he said, turning to leave. "Wait, sir," Leo called out. Thank you so much." Mr. Harrison just nodded and walked away, a strange warmth spreading through his chest. It was a small gesture, but it felt more significant than the multi-million-dollar deal he'd closed yesterday. For the rest of the week, he found himself looking for Leo. He bought out his candy stock every single day. He learned more about the boy. Leo was smart, articulate, and fiercely determined. He was selling candy to help his grandmother, who was struggling with medical bills after his parents had passed away. The story resonated deeply with Mr. Harrison, echoing his own painful past. One afternoon, as he was buying the usual box of candy, he asked, "Leo, why are you really doing this? Is it just for the bills?" Leo hesitated, then looked down at his worn-out sneakers. "Well, sir," he began, his voice dropping to a whisper, "there's something else. My mom. She loved to read. She always told me stories and said books could take you anywhere. Our local library, the one in our neighborhood, is about to close down. They don't have enough money. I'm trying to save up to help them. It's where I go after school. It's my favorite place in the world." Mr. Harrison froze. The library. He knew the one. It was the same small, underfunded library he used to escape to as a child. It was where he'd discovered books on business and finance that ignited his ambition. It was also where he had first met Eleanor. She was a volunteer librarian, her smile as bright as the stories she shared. They had fallen in love between shelves of dusty books. That library was the foundation of his entire life. He had been so consumed by his success that he had completely forgotten about the place that had made it all possible. Tears welled up in Mr. Harrison's eyes, blurring the image of the small boy in front of him. This wasn't just any boy. This was a reflection of his younger self. And he wasn't just selling candy. He was fighting for the same dream, the same sanctuary that had saved him decades ago. The secret Leo carried wasn't just about a library. It was a powerful reminder of love, of community, and of where he came from. The next day, Mr. Harrison didn't go to his office. Instead, he went to the library. It was just as he remembered, only more worn, more tired. He saw Leo in a corner, lost in a book, a small smile on his face. Mr. Harrison walked over to the librarian and wrote a check. A check large enough to not only save the library but to completely renovate it, to fill its shelves with new books, and to start new community programs. He named it the Eleanor Harrison Reading Center. Later, he found Leo outside. He knelt down to the boy's level. "Leo," he said, his voice thick with emotion, "you don't have to sell candy anymore. I want to offer you something better, a scholarship. For your entire education, all the way through college. All you have to do is promise me you'll keep reading, keep dreaming." Leo stared at him, speechless, tears streaming down his face. He could only nod, his heart too full for words. In that moment, standing on the sidewalk, Mr. Harrison felt a sense of purpose he hadn't felt in years. He wasn't just a millionaire anymore. He was a mentor, a guardian of dreams. He had lost his way in the maze of success, but a small boy selling candy had shown him the path back. The greatest wealth he now understood wasn't in his bank account, but in the ability to change a life, to honor a memory, and to give back to the places that built you. And in saving Leo's dream, he had finally, truly saved himself. Thank you for watching. Remember that a single act of kindness can change a life, and sometimes the person you help ends up helping you even more. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more motivational content.